The biting wind cut through James's threadbare blanket. He huddled deeper into his makeshift cardboard shelter. The sidewalk was cold and unforgiving. His stomach growled with hunger. James closed his eyes, trying to shut out the despair. How did he get here? He was once a millionaire. He had it all: a loving family, a thriving business, a beautiful home. Now he was just another nameless face, lost in the city's sprawling homeless population. The memories of his past life haunted him. He remembered the thrill of closing a big deal. He remembered the joy of family vacations. He remembered the comfort of his king-size bed. But those memories were bittersweet now, a constant reminder of everything he had lost. James drifted off to a restless sleep, plagued by nightmares of his past and anxieties about the future. The city noises provided a jarring soundtrack to his troubled slumber. The rumble of a passing truck, the distant siren of an ambulance, the muffled laughter of late-night revelers. All served as reminders of the life he no longer lived. He longed for the day he could escape this nightmare and reclaim his life. But for now, survival was the only thing that mattered. James hadn't always been homeless. He remembered a time not so long ago when he was on top of the world. He had built a successful tech company from the ground up. His company was innovative, disruptive, and highly profitable. He had a beautiful wife and 2 adorable children. Life was good. He drove a sleek sports car, the kind that turned heads wherever he went. His house was a sprawling mansion with a swimming pool and a tennis court. He had a vacation home in Aspen and a yacht docked in Miami. Life was a whirlwind of success and indulgence. James was a risk-taker, always chasing the next big thing. He poured his heart and soul into his company, working long hours and sacrificing personal time for the sake of his ambitions. He was driven by an insatiable hunger for success, and he achieved it, building an empire that seemed untouchable. The year 2009 brought with it a financial storm that shook the global economy to its core. The stock market crashed, sending shockwaves through every industry. Businesses crumbled, banks failed, and millions lost their jobs and homes. James's company, once a shining star in the tech world, was not immune to the crisis. The economic downturn hit his company hard. Sales plummeted, investors pulled out, and his carefully constructed empire began to crumble around him. He poured all his personal savings into trying to save his company. He took out loans, mortgaged his properties, and desperately sought new investors. But the financial climate was unforgiving, and his efforts proved futile. His company, once his pride and joy, filed for bankruptcy. The weight of his failure was crushing. He lost everything: his company, his home, his savings, his cars. He was left with nothing but a mountain of debt and the bitter taste of failure. Homeless and penniless, James found himself adrift in a world he no longer recognized. He slept on park benches, in doorways, and under bridges. He ate whatever scraps of food he could find in garbage bins. He drank from public fountains and washed in gas station restrooms. The shame was almost unbearable. He had gone from being a respected businessman to a nameless face in the crowd, invisible to the people who had once sought his attention. The streets were a harsh teacher, stripping away his pride and forcing him to confront his new reality. He learned to sleep with one eye open. Always wary of danger, he learned to panhandle for spare change, swallowing his pride with every outstretched hand. He learned that kindness was a rare commodity, often found in the most unexpected places. One particularly cold evening, as James huddled under his threadbare blanket, an elderly woman approached him. She had kind eyes and a warm smile that seemed to pierce through the darkness of his despair. She offered him a cup of steaming coffee and a thick woolen blanket. "It's going to be all right, dear," she said softly, her voice a soothing balm to his wounded spirit. "This is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. You're still breathing. And that means you still have a chance to turn things around." Her words, simple yet profound, struck a chord deep within James. They were a lifeline in a sea of despair, a beacon of hope in the darkness. For the first time since his downfall, he allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, things could get better. He had hit rock bottom, but he was still alive. He still had a chance to rise again. Section 6. Knowledge is power. The encounter with the elderly woman ignited a spark of hope within James. He realized he couldn't change the past, but he could fight for his future. He remembered his love for technology, a passion that had been buried under the weight of his financial ruin. He started spending his days at the public library, immersing himself in books and online resources. He taught himself new programming languages, devoured books on entrepreneurship, and stayed abreast of the latest technological advancements. The library became his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the harsh realities of street life and focus on rebuilding his life. He learned about the gig economy, about freelancing platforms where he could offer his skills to clients worldwide. A plan began to form in his mind, a path out of the darkness and back towards the light. Section 7, Rising from the Ashes. Armed with newfound knowledge and a burning desire to reclaim his life, James started freelancing. He spent countless hours hunched over library computers, bidding on projects and delivering high-quality work. He built a reputation for being reliable, skilled, and dedicated. Slowly but surely, the projects got bigger, the paychecks got fatter, and James started to believe in himself again. He rented a small room, a far cry from his luxurious mansion, but it was his, a symbol of his hard-won progress. He used his earnings to buy new clothes, a used laptop, and a smartphone. He started taking care of his appearance, shaving regularly and getting his hair cut. He felt a sense of pride returning, a feeling he thought he had lost forever. Section 8. Finding gratitude in the rubble. As James rebuilt his life, he was struck by a profound sense of gratitude. He was grateful for the kindness of strangers, for the resources available to him, for the second chance he had been given. He realized that his time on the streets, though incredibly difficult, had been a transformative experience. It had stripped away his arrogance, humbled him, and taught him the true meaning of resilience. He no longer measured success in terms of wealth and possessions. His priorities had shifted. He valued compassion, empathy, and the simple joys of life. He found joy in helping others, in sharing his story, and in using his experiences to make a difference in the world. Section 9. Paying it forward. James never forgot the kindness of the elderly woman who had offered him a cup of coffee and words of encouragement that fateful night. He knew that there were countless others out there, trapped in the cycle of homelessness, who needed a helping hand. He used his newfound success to start a non-profit organization dedicated to helping homeless individuals develop digital skills and find employment in the tech industry. He offered free coding classes, mentorship programs, and job placement assistance. He wanted to empower others to break free from the chains of homelessness and achieve their full potential. James's story is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the human will. It's a reminder that no matter how dark things may seem, there is always hope. Failure is not the end, it's just a detour on the road to success. And sometimes the greatest lessons in life are learned not from our triumphs, but from our falls.